Let's talk about why I do not support this recent push here for South African whites who are fleeing to come to the United States. I had the homie, I didn't even realize he was on the stream because I'm out of practice. Forgive me. Yeah, his channel's Voice of Steven, and I was looking back at the show to clip it up, and I was like, wait, that was Steven was in there. I saw I might be wrong. I didn't recognize the homie Iggy. My bad. But he hit me up and said, "Hey, he was like, I wasn't sure about the. I'm just paraphrasing about the South African take, and I always leave room to be wrong. So, please challenge me." But I haven't changed my take yet. I'm not for this. What happened in late 2024? Um, Things were getting bad, and even before that, I think I had done it. It was this alt media, neo MAGA con. I didn't call them that at the time, but that's what they have always been. This neo Zionist MAGA con push talking about the kill the Boers. Remember that? You see the blacks on the stage in South Africa, kill the Boers, kill the Boers. It's just basically their version of build the wall, but build the wall wouldn't get the black South Africans hype. So they basically are saying unlive the farmers, the white farmers basically that were there during apartheid. So in late 2024, things were getting bad as the I'm not going to argue apartheid, but this is what happened. The whites were in control before. When was it? This is the whole Nelson Mandela push. I don't know what the time was. At 79. No, 94 is when it all kind of officially changed because that was my prime time. Mid 90s. Oh man, the albums that came out back then. I'd love to go back and look at the 90s in a time where, but yeah, so that's when Nelson Mandela came through, kind of not came through, but fully converted with the help of sanctions and other things. When that was the case, the country wasn't, it wasn't as bad as it is now. So now pretty much the blacks have gone in charge, and I understand they're the majority there. You can do what you want with that. It's turned to shit. The country's turned to absolute shit. Objectively, you can go to the most woke of outlets, and they'll tell you the country's shit. So in late 2024, the whites there were like, "Can we can we get in? Because it's gone pretty bad here." So several Afrikaner civil society groups began lobbying Republican aligned US politicians. These groups were AfriForum, a well funded Afrikaner rights organization that testified in the US Congress during Trump's first term. Then the Solidarity Movement. This is a coalition that represented white South African trade unions and cultural groups. I'm not against these whites. I don't even know them like that. I'm just going to tell you, just generally speaking, I am against them coming here, but just like in general, I'm not against them. A few Dutch Reformed church-linked missions. I'm looking at the history of the Dutch, and it's just amazing how the Netherlands, such a small country, is historically involved in so many things, colonization and all that. It's just amazing, actually. These groups here submitted a formal appeal to Trump and the admin to say, can we get in? We're refugees. We need asylum. Because obviously, it's true. If the party that's rising into power is singing kill the Boers, you might have a case for asylum. Not that I want it approved, but that is a case. That's a legitimate case. That's not like some of these other immigrants. There were threats of taking the land. We saw the crosses. I don't know what the story is behind the crosses. People say that's where they unlived farmers. I don't know that for sure, but there's definitely troubling signs there. But that's not my problem, obviously. December 2024, internal White House memos leaked. These were leaked in early 2025, showed that Stephen Miller. So now we have to wonder what's happening, because Trump is obviously Zionist to the hilt. the most Zionist president we've ever had. He's more of like a zombie. He's almost like a Tesla robot programmed to be Zionist. He doesn't really have ideology behind it, but it doesn't matter. He is super Zio. So we have the super Zio president open to this, and then we have Stephen Miller, who, despite writing Trump's best speeches in 2015, probably as a subversive. I was going to say the word, and I don't know why I didn't, but as a subversive, he's Zionist to the hilt. So you have to. That doesn't mean that's enough on itself to say I don't want the South Afrikaners here. But shouldn't it be enough? Let me stall. Shouldn't it be enough for
spider sense start tingling?
If all the Zionists want anyone here, isn't that enough? Not enough to say no. You have to do your own research. That is ridiculous for me to say just because Libs of TikTok wants the white Afrikaners here, I'm against it. No, that's not how I operate. That's not how Index Red operates. We do our own research, but it is enough to say all the Zionists want the white South Afrikaners here. Why?
Spider sense start tingling.
So Trump approved the plan. This was in January. It kind of bubbled up. AfriForum's leaders met privately in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. When you want to talk to Don Donna, Pappy Don, you go to Mar-a-Lago. This is kind of that's Trump. Trump has aura. Don't get me wrong. Just because you can say I have Trump derangement syndrome, I'll fully take that if that's your take. But I'm not going to lie about Trump. Trump is the boss. He has the aura. He's 79 now, and the aura has not. For me, it's not the same, but he still has that presence. You can't buy that. So they went to the headquarters, not the White House. They went to Mar-a-Lago. And he presented a dossier titled "The Last Christian Refugees from Africa." Trump approved the plan within 2 weeks. He said it's a political win. The South Afrikaners coming here are Zionist Christians. Those are not my allies. They're straight to the hilt Zionist Christians, white, and it's only about 59, whatever. It's not even 100 of them, to my knowledge. So Trump's like, this is a win. It's barely a few whites. I don't really have to call it out that they're whites. We see that they're whites. Give them a flag, take a photo op. I really didn't do anything. It's not like it's not like millions of these whites are coming here like before under Biden. You had Latinos falling out of cabinets like cockroaches over the border. Like a lot of them didn't even want to come here. I think it was so many niggas coming here that they just got pushed across the border. Bum rushing border patrol. That shit was wild, wasn't it? This is like 50 of them. It's like 60 of them. So isn't that embarrassing from the jump? Let's be real with me. Whites, dear whites. Isn't that kind of embarrassing? Under Biden, you literally had these niggas just tripping over the border. Like a lot of them not even wanting to be here. Just like they told me to come. It was fun. Just kind of like these Pride Month parades. A lot of them don't even want to be there. It's just the only time they get out the house nowadays. They didn't even want to be here. They're falling over here by the millions, basically, like cockroaches. And you're celebrating 60 Zionist Christian whites coming over. So we still haven't gotten to the meat of it, but it's not looking good. You've got Trump, Stephen Miller, the most Zionist out here. Every neo-MAGA-con Jew, every neo-MAGA-con binder idiot, nothing burger binder idiot is supporting it, whether it's Libs of TikTok and wokeness. I don't even follow many. I forget some of the names. The binder crew. Every single one of the binder crew is celebrating it, from Jack Posovic to all of them. And Jack's better than the rest of them, but he's still in that neo-MAGA-con crew. They're all celebrating it. Is there not something to say, wait a second, what's happening here? So the request came from the South Africans. Trump's like, it aligns with where I'm at. This is a win-win for me. So they went ahead and did it. And I don't want these victims here. I don't need them here. Why would I support them coming here? Because they're white? They're fleeing their country. They're letting their country fall. When you look back at the start of America, you had people fleeing from Great Britain because they were religiously being persecuted. And some of the difference here is they were coming to a land where they knew there was nobody that they knew had control over it. Now, so I would liken that more to if these South Afrikaners wanted to build a spaceship, which is kind of ironic because the South African Elon Musk, of course, but if they wanted to build a spaceship and go to Mars, I fully support them. I'm all for them and start their own society. Great, do it. That's courage. You don't know if you're going to make it across the Atlantic Ocean. It's a very dangerous trip. You're trying to start something new. You're being courageous. If they did that, I'd be like, wonderful. And say we had space travel and they were going to go to one of the moons on Jupiter. Like Jupiter Jupiter has like 200 moons. And they were going to go on one of the moons on Jupiter. I'd be like, prayers with you. God, I wish you all the best. But instead, they're trying to come here to be coddled by the Donald Trump. These are conservative Christian Zionists. They are the living embodiment of a Charlie Kirk type. And I guess you could say, is that bad? I've fallen so far out. I don't even listen to Charlie Kirk anymore. So that doesn't excite me. No, I'm out. That's the best case scenario you could describe them as Charlie Kirk types. And you can see why your and wokeness, libs of TikTok, all your MAGA, neo-MAGA, boomer con, pro-war, basically the new embodiment of the, Patriot Act movement rebranded under the MAGA umbrella. You can see why all of those people are excited about 60 feckless Christian Zionist South Afrikaners coming here. And maybe now you can see why I'm not for it. And I even liken it to whites from California. So what if they're whites? I almost liken it to, now they're not because they're typically conservative, if whatever that means Zionist, but to me, it's no different than the liberal whites who are marching on the Pride Parade. I don't put them in any other stronger light than that. They're coming here to be protected, to be coddled, to not fight for anything. The problem, what problem in this country that I have that 60 of them, and it doesn't matter if there are a million of them, I'd be more upset, to be honest with you. What problem do they solve? How are they an ally for me where I'd be like, yeah, let's bring them in here? They're not coming here to build anything, guys. He's explicitly targeting people because it works from the standpoint also from the blacks in power of South Africa are one of the only countries that actually speak out against Israel. Not that I'm not saying that the blacks who've taken out South Africa are allies of mine. I'm just telling you that they have spoken out internationally, publicly about Israel. That's why Trump can bring them in, the president in, and undress him in the White House. And that's why he did, because the president spoke out against Israel. He's not doing it because he's based. That's not based. There's nothing based about that. So the blacks that took over are against Israel. So they want to kind of show them up a little bit by taking in a handful of whites. Bringing in the passive mentality. Same energy of Colorado. I'm in Colorado, if you don't know, is a liberty, a hippie, mountain climber, beer type of dude, liberty focus. It is not Denver. That is not the history of Colorado. Colorado politically, organically, is more like a wild, wild west, but then kind of the gold rush type stuff, and then went into more, which is pure anarchy, anarcho-capitalism, which is way more based than what we see now, which is taken over by Boulder, Denver. As beautiful as Boulder is, it's mentally gone. As beautiful as Denver could be, it's mentally gone. So it's, and I'm going to end here in a second, see if there's any comments to refute me. Colorado is liberty-minded organically. But over time, you have the rush of the white liberals, no different than Elon Musk going to Austin, Texas, and he's a neoliberal. They come to California, they settle in, prices go up, and they turn the state and they vote and turn the state into a wannabe New York, a wannabe California. And that's not what the state is organically. Just because they're white doesn't mean they're anything to me. So yeah, I'll make fun of Jeets, but I'll rock with Dr. Shiva Ayadore before a South African white every day, all day, a million days out of a million days in the calendar, in calendar years, for eternity. I will rock with a Dr. Shiva Ayadore Jeet over a South African Christian Zionist white. All day, every day. And that's my position. Let's take a look at the comments. I'll be out if there are any comments. America first means America first. Christian, what's up? Happy Father's Day. It is Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Christian, great friend of the show. Let's see here. Good morning, Briar. Elijah says, good God, this guy should get off the internet. There could be some truth to that. I'm not going to say, I will keep it real. Elijah, if you came through, I'll keep it real. I haven't been off the internet. I've been on Twitter. I can't get off Twitter. I'm addicted to Twitter. That's just what it is. Let's see here. I live in both South Africa and US. Okay. We have to face the fact that it's black versus white. Yeah, I'm maybe I'll do a different one on the apartheid because it's similar to Jim Crow in that I am against, if you don't know, I'm against ending Jim Crow in a way. I believe we should have the power to segregate, and we were better when that happened, when we were off that way. That's a little off the topic though. How do I join the live? I'm from South Africa. Guess what, Johannes? You have officially joined the live. And the live is over, though. Well, I appreciate y'all. Take care. Have a happy Father's Day.